Hey everybody, Wildcat here, and actually Wildcat's a game I use for gaming. I usually make videos doing games, um, and I thought, well, I got all these home projects I got to do and everything, and I bought this camera about 3 years ago, and I thought, hey, you know what, this might be, something interesting to put up on YouTube, doing some home renovations and stuff. So, I'll give some lights here, and so what we got here, of course, this is an old style tub. This thing's made out of cast iron or cast steel. It's heavier than a ton. Uh, and I wish I had thought about this earlier. I mean, I do have some pictures of this before I touched it, so of course I'll try and get those up with the video so you guys can see. So at the stage that I'm at here is I'm ready to start filling some holes. So as you can see, like there's a pit there, and this here needs to be filled in. Pit there, another one here, there, kind of thing. So you need to use a two-part enamel for filling in the pits. So what I'm going to use for doing that is going to be this stuff here. It's a JB Weld. It's a liquid steel. It's a two-part enamel, or a two-part epoxy, I should say, sorry. And it's, this stuff here is a quick set, so this will set in 6 minutes. You'd probably want to use a longer setting stuff to give you a little more play time. So basically this is probably going to end up giving me extra finish work to do because I got to be fairly quick with it. I'm not a carpenter by trade. I'm not a professional in anything by any trade, right? Back in the day we used to call him a jack of all trade and a master of none. So I've done lots of things in my time, but never mastered anything. So I gotta go ahead and get these holes filled out with this JB Weld. And this tub, when I did the outside part of this tub, it was before I put it where the position is going to be in. I did the outside of the tub. And anyways, the welder had stamped the bottom of it, so this thing was actually made in 1914. So she's a pretty old tub. And as you can see, they last for quite some time. Don't come up. Scissors and knife in here, so I'm fighting with this tape to try and get my tubes out of here. Come on. There we go. Alright. So of course, as it says, a two-part. Need to use a two-part filler, so with the JB Weld, of course, it's a equal amount out of each tube. One here. So I have a fairly big patch to do, so let's see how much I can get done with this. I might have to go buy some more JB Weld, but so now one of the nice things about the two parts, of course, is that generally they'll last a lot longer than one that's not a two-part. Is like caulking or silicone. Usually, once you open the tube, even though you plug the end up and stuff, it still ends up after a few months screwing up on you, which is a pain. All right, I'm gonna have to. I can't get the cap off. Gotta get some pliers here. This might end my project right now for the moment. This lid does not want to come on. Holy cow. Split. Dang it. Okay. So as I said, this is one of those things that I lent it to somebody else, and I'll bet you motherfucker got shit all over the edge, didn't wipe the fucking thing off, and now it's glued there. Fucking hate that. Okay, so like I was saying, the nice thing about the two parts epoxies, these last quite a bit longer. just because that takes the two of them, right? So I think I got a little more white there than what I wanted, but normally I wouldn't put it back on with all that on there. I usually wipe the threads off pretty good, but I squished that tube up a bit trying to get that out, so put a little more black in there. Okay, so normally a good thing to be using with this would be like a popsicle stick or something like that, which of course I don't have. So I'm going to use the back end of my stir stick for paint. So I just kind of get this stuff all good mixing here. I'd end up having to go buy some more. Well, if I do, I might buy a slower set stuff. I bought this stuff, I think last year actually, for another job. That's why it's quick set. But stuff doesn't smell the greatest neither. Well, so let's see. Let's go with our biggest hole here to start with. It's gonna be this guy. Like I say, the one of the drawbacks quite possibly with the quicker set is that I could end up with a little extra work to get it worked to get it smoothed out and that, right? Because let's say you don't get a lot of time to play with it, and of course using a paintbrush makes it a little bit hard to do, but that's alright. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just get my putty knife for doing these guys here. Can't give myself a nice edge here. There we go, that worked out. Except there it didn't. So let's do, this might be a bad idea, but hell, this is what you get for doing home renovation stuff, right? Yeah, learn stuff the hard way. It might be a bad idea because you could get the toilet paper stuck in there, ripping the bed. Oh, you sucker. Got a little too close to that. To the edge there. Closer than what I wanted to get, that's for sure. And again, one of those things that, let's try it with this clean edge. Again, one of those things that, you try to fix it, you're trying to make it look nice and pretty, and the more you play with it, the more you screw it up. Just the way she seems to work, right? Alright, so I'm going to go around and try and get all these holes filled up and plugged in. Probably have to mix up some more, but it's okay. And then once I get these filled in, this epoxy takes about 4 hours to cure. So you can, you'll be doing a good machining at 4 hours. That should be hard, but you could probably at 2 hours while it's still kind of soft. You could come and machine it as well. But I tend to like to wait till it's fully cured, because what happens when it's still soft, usually it's still a little tacky or sticky, and when you put heat to it, it kind of melts a bit, and then it plugs up your paper or your stone, whatever you're using for grinding on it, right? Okay, so I just find it easier if you just go with just letting it do its full cure and then go to it. I know it's a little bit extra work, a little bit extra grinding because it's harder, but in the end I think it works better. But one person's opinion compared to somebody else's. Alright, so anyways, I'm gonna let this I'll finish up doing this stuff, and then when we go machining, I'll be back for the machining part. Alright, so we'll see you guys and be back in a few hours. Alright, so I'm just gonna say Wildcat out for now, and then we'll be back.